Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing LEGO sets and building them and other LEGO related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the LEGO Avatar Neytiri and Thanator vs. AMP Suit Quaritch. This is set number 75571. It has 560 pieces, and I paid $35 for this set. Now, this is the first Avatar set that I'll have taken a look at. Some of these Avatar sets, especially the ones that were coming out, I think around the release of the second movie, which I have not seen, and I haven't seen the first one in a long time, were overpriced, and I wasn't too interested in this. I believe this one retails for $45, which if you look at the price per piece and you look at the different builds, you got kind of this build, the mech build, and then some landscape floral stuff here. Seemed okay, and the price per piece seemed good. And then I got this even cheaper than retail, so it retails for I think $45. I got this for $35. So I felt like it was fine to pull the trigger on this. And I do like mechs. I do like botanicals and floral pieces. So I'm really excited to see some of the different colorful stuff here, and I'm interested in some of the other stuff as well. So I decided to pull the trigger on this. I believe this is from the first movie, and in this video, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So, until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we are looking at the build for this LEGO Avatar Neytiri and Thanator vs. AMP Suit Quaritch set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then I wanted to remind people that if you like this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up and giving it a like, and if you like my other videos, please consider clicking the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future. I have a lot of plans for this channel, and all these subscribes and likes and comments and all that stuff really helps me a lot, so I appreciate it. And please don't hesitate to leave comments about the sets or about my setup or about my videos at all. I like to read them a lot, and like to respond to them as well. So thanks everybody, and with all of that said, now we can go back to the rest of the builds for this LEGO Avatar Neytiri and Thanator versus AMP Suit Quaritch set, and then onto my review for this set. Okay, so that is this LEGO Avatar Neytiri and Thanator versus the AMP Suit Quaritch. forgive me for pronunciations if I'm wrong. I'm not super up on my Avatar lore, and like I mentioned at the beginning, I think I haven't seen the first one in a long time, haven't seen the second one at all yet. Not sure if I will. When I will, we will see what happens. But I did want to take a look at one of these sets. I was able to get this set at a decent enough discount, so I thought I would pull the trigger on it. It does have some stuff in here that I really like and that I'm really excited about, so that's pretty interesting. But the first thing we'll take a look at, like we normally do, is the minifigures, or the kind of not so minifigure here. So the first one is one of the Avatar blue people creatures. I can't remember what their like type of alien species they are. They are like the Navi, I think, like NA''VI or something like that. But this is Neytiri here, so they do use the special minifigure legs that are extra long here, which we can see, and the printing on this, the production work is very, very good. So we have a really detailed face print. This head is also kind of a specialized mold. It's a little bit taller. It's almost the shape of like a friend's head, but then has the extra ears here and is a little bit bigger, so that's interesting. Tons of cool detail, including some like metallic shiny stuff all through the torso. Nothing on the midsection there. Oh, wait, no, there is something on the midsection, but the part in between is because of the tail piece here that kind of goes in the skirt area, and that's what I'm seeing where there's not printing. So you do get an extra one of those. So that's where the little break is, but there is actually printing on the midsection there, on the hip area, which is good. And then, like I say, the printing on the legs and the lower portion is very nice. Nothing on the arms here. If we look on the back, we do have the tail. We do have this special Avatar-like hair piece, which does have, I think, a bar piece coming off of it there, which is interesting. Nothing on the back of the head, but we do get more kind of details back here, and of course we do have the tail. They are handling a bow, a minifigure accessory of a bow and arrow. I believe this is a bigger one than normal for minifigures, so I think that's newish for Avatar there. And this is a pretty cool minifigure. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about these with the bigger legs, with kind of the normal minifigure body and stuff, but I actually like this a lot more than I thought I would, and the production works very, very good on it, so that's nice. And then the other minifigure we have is Colonel Miles Quaritch, which I think is kind of the antagonist-ish of the films, or at least of the first one. And this too is really, really good. So we have the kind of I think Stephen Lang plays this character, who I know from certain horror movies and stuff, but this is the Colonel here. And again, the production works pretty good. It looks like we have kind of bare arms, so maybe sleeveless up here. Has like some metallic kind of digital camo, which is really, really cool for the vest, and maybe a belt thing and an undershirt there with some skin tone, I think is supposed to be right there. And it looks like we do have some printing that is supposed to show some muscle definition. The color there compared to the arms and the face is noticeably different, so if that is supposed to be just the skin underneath there, that could have been a little bit better. We do have printing on the midsection, including some metallics for kind of the belt area, and then we have the continuation of that kind of pixelated camouflage onto the legs, which is nice. If we look at the back again, we have this sort of pixelated camouflage stuff here, which I think is really, really cool, and I haven't seen LEGO do stuff like that very often, so it's cool to see. No alternate face here, but the face printing is very good, and that is the two minifigures that are in here. So for the most part, they're pretty good. The skin tone match could be better for this one. It could be a lot better, actually, but other than that, is pretty great. And then we have kind of 3 builds for this set, and you do get 3 booklets. So the first, they do say on the box that this can be built with other people, potentially split up or built differently. So the first instructions is for the I think the Thanator or the Thanator here, and that uses the first bag of pieces. Bags 2 and 3 are on the AMP suit or AMP suit for the Colonel there, Quaritch, and then the 4th bag of pieces and the 3rd manual here is for kind of the Pandora, I believe is the planet, sort of the wildlife and the plant life or whatever is there, which is a big part of the environment there, is a big part of the spectacle of that movie, and I think LEGO did a pretty good job capturing that here. But we'll kind of just talk about these things in order. And the first thing we'll look at is the Thanator here. So this is really pretty interesting. I haven't seen too many things like this. This is a 6-legged, I don't know if that makes it like a hexaped or hexaped for 6-legged creature here, which is very, very interesting. I don't know if, on planet Earth, evolution probably doesn't trend towards 6-legged creatures that are the size of mammals or the size of this, but we certainly have insects and different things that have 6 legs and other things maybe in the ocean. So that's very interesting to see a kind of tiger-ish creature here, and there is a picture of it in the manual there. But 6 legs, we do have some articulation there. The color choices are pretty good here, and we'll kind of look over all of that. But I can go over the articulation here first. So the head is on a mixel joint or a ball joint there, so it can turn differently. The head is actually a specialized mold here, so it has these kind of flangey type things coming off of it. There are some holes at the back that can accept a bar element or these kind of whip elements here, but it has kind of these side tendrils coming off. We do have some printing. I believe this might be, no, I don't think this is dual molding, but the production for the printing there is a slight indent for that coloration there. Printing for the eyes. The jaw is good. This lower jaw might be used for different dinosaurs or different animals, I'm not sure, but certainly the head is a specialized mold, and cool to get that. It could easily be a type of dragon head or something like that as well. The mouth just has some kind of clip action, so it can be all the way closed or all the way open, which is nice. And that can be positioned. It does have these extra tendrils kind of coming off on the back that I'll show and talk about a little later. Again, we have 6 legs here, so the front legs are kind of attached at the shoulder. This can kind of rotate there, and the front leg is clipped on, and the back leg here is on a kind of ratchet hinge there. So those can be positioned, as well as the feet are clipped on. So you can kind of position these in some interesting places. There's with the shoulder here, and then the kind of forearm area moving, and then the feet moving. You can get it into some good positions. It's the same on the other side. The back feet too have kind of this hip motion here, so these rotate, and then they're on a ratchet kind of hinge or clip piece there, and then clipped on for the feet. So those can be positioned as well. So you can get this in some pretty cool positions, and because it's 6-legged, you can kind of have it with certain legs up or down or whatever. There's no like flaying out, so side to side it can't excuse me, side to side it doesn't articulate at all, but that's okay. It feels very stable. There's different kind of action positions it can get in, which is good. Tail's on a little bit of a clip there, and that's all the articulation. So this is actually pretty cool. I think the head mold and the production here is really good. For the most part, you don't see colors that are unsavory, just the way that these are built. The size feels good. The color block feels good. You just see that little bit of gray there, but other than that, like when this is positioned a certain way, you can cover that up with some of the molding from the head there, which is nice. Looking at the back, we have some slopes here. We have an interesting thing. We have a couple studs there that are open, and that is because Neytiri, this Navi, I believe, character, they have sort of different bonds with animals on the planet Pandora, or creatures rather, and so they can be studded on here to ride the or maybe not ride, but they operate in tandem with the Thanator here, and I believe part of that is attaching one of these tendrils to the hairpiece here. That's something I remember from the movie. So we can stud them on with the back, we can attach that tendril to the back of the hairpiece there, and now the Thanator and Neytiri can kind of work in sync with each other, and I think that's actually accomplished pretty well here. I think I don't know if there's specifically like new pieces except for like the Avatar specific stuff and the Thanator specific stuff, but as far as these kind of tendrils go and stuff, I don't know if those are new, but they're used well here, and I think it looks pretty good. It's all like proportional to accommodate the longer legs there, and I think that's pretty neat. So having that little extra bar piece of the hair I thought was a little bit weird here at first, but it makes sense in context, so I think that's good to see. And overall, this was just an interesting kind of animal design that is sci-fi-y, fantasy-y in a really fun way. It's pretty inspiring, and it's a pretty cool build, simple build, and I do really like the molded head there, so that's very nice. Then we'll move on to what you build next, which is the AMP Suit Quaritch. It's kind of a mech here, so it doesn't have the word mech in the name, but I'm going to kind of refer to it as that. So this is kind of the army greenish military type mech suit that allows the colonel to maybe fight the Thanator or something on Pandora, and this is really neat. So there are some stickers here, and let me grab the sticker sheet. I don't think I missed any stickers, so they're all on this, and that is used for some stuff on the arms, some different writing and techno babble stuff, some emblems on the side here like that, maybe some camouflage type stuff. Same for this arm. There's also some or like a clear sticker here. They're all clear backed, but some of them have a different color as well. But you can see there is some articulation here. There is a spot for the colonel to go, and inside the kind of cockpit area, I actually really liked how this was constructed. I like how it's designed with these slopes here to kind of outline, and the head area. This is a nice windscreen piece or canopy piece there, which is good. There's a little bit of a gap. It doesn't bother me too much, and in fact that could be true to the actual reference there. Inside you can see a printed slope there, that and then two on the side, which is good. I think the color blocking in here is really nice, and I think this overall looks really cool, so that's great. As far as the legs go, they do use the kind of mech style legs for the new mech that don't bend at the knees. At the hips, it's a ball joint, but because of these modified plates up here, you don't have a ton of motion forward and back, or flaying out side to side. So a little bit of motion there, not a ton, but that's okay. I did like how the legs were built out here with some metallic-y silver type stuff and different things, so I think that looks pretty cool. And then the feet are, I thought, really interesting because they're on some Technic bits, but the feet can kind of like rotate a little bit, and then they have this Technic brick at the back, and then they're also on a mixel joint, so you can kind of get this, even though what it lacks in like flaying out or movement for the hips, you can kind of make up for a bit with the feet, because you can rotate them, you can angle them a little bit, so that's good. And the feet are 2 studs wide, which I like, has some ingots there, which is nice, and I think the piece choice for this is really good. But going back up to the kind of chest area and the cockpit area, I really liked some of the kind of greebling type details around the side. I liked building up all this on the side. I liked where the arms were positioned in relation to the where a person might sit, which is great. Looking at the arms, we do have ball joints at the shoulder, elbow, and the wrist, so these can move a decent amount. They can rotate at least, and they can go forward. They can kind of come across and do different stuff there, so there's a good amount of joints there. They actually didn't use the kind of same mech arm things that they might use on some mechs, so this has more articulation there in the arms than other traditional mechs now. They are wielding a kind of minifigure accessory sword here. They do have some fingers that can move a little bit. I don't really like how these fingers were done. They feel like weirdly big to me. At least on this hand, they feel a little bit weird. But other than that, the arm's pretty good. This other arm has a totally different accessory here. Maybe you could kind of I don't know, chainsaw type thing with these nice bright pieces, and then the teeth kind of piece there, which is nice. Those can be taken off. They're just held on with a clip, and that's same for the other one. And then the arms are pretty much the same. I do like the piece usage up here. I think this looks pretty great from the back, using these like sloped vent pieces all over, and it all kind of really works for me. So I like this a lot more than I thought I would. The stickers are all on the arms, the front and back for both of them, so that's 4 of the stickers. The Nexonite shield on the side, Nexonite shield on the side, as well as this kind of slope, and the clear one in there, and that is all the stickers for this whole set. So here's the sticker sheet, and they weren't too bad, so that's good. I think this is a pretty cool toy, pretty fun build. Actually, I liked this a lot more than I thought I would, as someone who's built quite a few mechs from different themes, the Marvel mechs or DC stuff, but also like the Ninjago mechs of various sizes and shapes. I actually really liked this more than I thought I would, which this isn't called a mech, it's called an amp suit for the Colonel Miles here, but it has some similarities with a mech, so I'm fine calling it that. And then the last thing we have here is the kind of Pandora landscape. So I was particularly excited about this, and there's some good stuff here, so I'm really excited to look at it. This is kind of some of the colorful life on the planet there, and there's tons of cool stuff to look at here. So I'm not really sure where to start. I guess I will start over. I guess we'll start over here. I think this might be made in such a way that it can connect to other Avatar sets or other landscape things here, because it does have this modified plate with the vertical bar there that doesn't get used for anything here, and this side has a clip, so I think you can clip this to other stuff, which is cool. It's good to see that. But as far as here goes, you kind of have 3 main sections. So if I flip this upside down, we can see we have this section over here, the middle section, and the left, well, right now this other section, and they're attached kind of with those interesting kind of A-frame type plates there. So if I turn this over, you can see these kind of A-shaped pieces, which are nice, and this one keeps falling off on me here. And so there's tons of stuff to look at. First, we can look over at this one. We got some nice colorful Technic pieces here, some good use of some colorful floral pieces, some rock pieces. I think actually these Technic pieces in this color is really, really nice. And then we have these kind of bulbous, sort of translucent green pieces that even have a like floral stem inside of them, which is really nice. So you can just see that peek through there. I love the choice of colors here for even small details, like the little bit that holds the things on there. These barb pieces are great. This can kind of be moved a little bit here because it's just a Technic bit there, and I think this looks really, really cool. The colors are really nice, and it just feels very otherworldly, which I think is appropriate. I don't know if it's reference to a specific type of something that exists on Pandora in the movies, but it's still very, very cool for me, and at least like cool pieces here in that color. Moving over to the middle section, at the base level, we have different rock faces, we have different vines, we do have this kind of plant that can kind of be articulated here, or maybe it's more alive and it has sort of tendrils, red tendrils there. Again, color blocking is really nice, some translucent in here, and just very unique colors used. We got some nice floral pieces back there in a good color, different vine works coming through. We can see we have more floral, like leaf things here in different colors. These kind of sprigs here are glow in the dark, which is really nice and cool, because there's certain things on Pandora, if I remember from the movie, are kind of like have a bioluminescence. So I believe these are glow in the dark. I don't think this sprig at the back is, but that's okay. It does use, it's not quite like the full-size burp or the big ugly rock piece, but it does use kind of one of these older style big rock pieces here, which I think it uses to good effect, hides it nicely in there. And then we have some other tree life, plant life stuff up top, which is always good to get more of those. Coming over to the next section here, again, we do have this clip, so if another one of these had a bar there, you could kind of connect these to other Pandora landscape bits. We do have, again, another one of the glow-in-the-dark kind of pieces there. Some nice colors for the leaves, upside down, using a different color barb there, which is very, very cool. I really liked those. Some egg pieces there as well, which is nice. And then over here, kind of built up with some different rock stuff and different things, we have this really interesting thing, which uses the Technic bit again with a nice color for that angled piece there, a little barb coming off of it, and then this floral bit, and there's a couple studs up there. It's not tiled out, and that is for kind of an action feature, but kind of also a display thing. So the Thanator doesn't have a ton of stuff on the bottom, but it is in the instructions shown that this can be kind of mounted to the landscape here. So I will attach it just with those two studs, and you can have it so that the back feet are still kind of on the ground there, and then the Thanator is kind of in a position where it's sort of pouncing out through the brush or through the plant life, and it attaches there. It's not a super solid connection, it's just those two studs at the beginning, or at the bottom rather, but it stays there, and it's pretty cool. So I actually really like that. It's cool for displaying this, which is probably more of a play set generally speaking, but I think the potential to position these things in a kind of action pose is really, really useful for making this set more display worthy. So it kind of gets this in this pouncing pose here, which I think is really cool. There's not really a spot for the mech, but that can stand freely on its own. And what we're left here is kind of three individual builds of a kind of creature, a mech, and more like nature, landscape, plant life stuff. And it combines to be a really cool scene, cool play potential here, some display potential, which felt like they actually thought about it by letting this connect where they did, which I think is really great. You get two minifigures, which I think are pretty good. A little bit of color issue for me on the Colonel here, Colonel Miles Quaritch, but other than that, these are both pretty quality minifigures here, and I don't mind the big legs at all, so that's really, really great. The minifigures can go on their respective kind of things easily, which is good. And there's good attention to detail in general, like being able to connect the hair is kind of a small detail. It's actually really important in terms of the first Avatar movie. That's a kind of a significant thing for how the Na'vi respond or connect with their environment around them, as a sharp juxtaposition to how the Colonel might interact with the environment around them. So I think it's really, really cool that LEGO did that and included that here. That's a really good attention to detail, which kind of just furthers the overall kind of message and theme, which I think could easily be left out in a set like this that's just toys and just plastic pieces, but it's so thematically relevant and important that I'm really happy to see that here. And it's nice that they can integrate in the way that they do. So I think this is great. Now this set is, well, why don't I show the extra pieces first, because there's some good stuff there. And I'll show the extra pieces, and then we'll talk about price and value. So we do get a good amount of different barb pieces in the different colors, including like the black one, and kind of a yellow one, and maybe a pale yellow there. Different like sprig floral elements here, which is nice. Same for this one. This nice color for this piece, which is I don't see too often. We do get an extra of the glow in the dark piece there, which is great to get that. Extra of the Na'vi kind of tails here. And we do get an extra printed slope there as well. So those are your extra pieces. Pretty good stuff. Nice color selection here. Overall, just good color choices for a lot of the kind of pieces in this set. I really, really appreciate that. And now looked at the extra pieces, we can kind of talk about value here. So this set is 560 pieces. It retails, I think, for $45. I paid $35, which is $10 off on almost a $50 set. So it's almost, in that 20% off range, close to it. And I think actually this would be one of those sets that at $45 for 560 pieces. That actually sounds not that bad, especially considering you get like 3 builds that all feel pretty solid on their own. Like this could easily be its own thing. This could be its own thing. They could either be combined with this or not. This could certainly be part of a bigger thing or something without, minifigures or whatever. So this is really unique, and I'm not sure if every Avatar set kind of comes with some parts of Pandora or whatever other stuff they go to in the way of the water, but I think this is really, really great. And I actually think at retail, not a bad price, because a mech like this might be anywhere from $10, $15, $20 or more, depending on that. A creature like this could be like that, but with the special molded head and everything. And then there's like special pieces in here, which are somewhat rare, somewhat uncommon. You get the glow in the dark pieces, lots of different colors, lots of different pieces in general. So I think this is great value actually at retail price, which I don't often say. It's actually really refreshing to get a Lego set that I think is not overpriced. Actually, for a lot of the other Avatar sets, I never jumped at them because they did feel like they were overpriced just out of the gate. Felt like the retail was overpriced, but I maybe overlooked this one. I paid $35 for this, which is an even better deal. I think that's a steal, because if I say this is $10 or $15, this is $10 or $50, and this is $10 and $50, it actually feels like more than that to me, plus the minifigs here. I think $35 was a great deal for this set. There's some specialized pieces, there's some new pieces, there's good minifigures, there's play, there's display. They actually thought about display, which is excellent. Just tons of really, really cool stuff here. So I did not expect to like this. I'm not a very big Avatar fan. I have not seen the second movie. I haven't seen the first movie in a long time. I don't really have any intention of collecting other Lego Avatar sets, but this kind of blew me away for its value, and there's so many cool pieces in here. I love Lego botanicals, so I get a lot of inspiration from stuff like this, and it's a really good set. It's just a really, really good set. So I'm very, very pleased with it. And I think the value at proposition is actually okay. So that's great. So I like it a lot more than I thought I would. If you like this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up and giving it a like. And if you like my other videos, please consider clicking the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including potentially maybe more Lego Avatar. If you have Lego Avatar sets that you like or think are good value and you think I should check out, please leave it in the comments below. But other than that, all different Lego themes, all different sets, all different shapes, sizes, price points, and piece counts, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. And if you want to support this channel, the best way to do that is over at the SoBricks Patreon. You can find it linked in the description, linked on my channel page, patreon.com/SoBricks. Over there, you can join for as little as $2 a month, get access to all my videos early, get access to exclusive videos for like bigger sets like Ninjago City Gardens and modular buildings and different stuff like that. And I have a lot of other kind of exclusive content I'm working on for the Patreon, so maybe consider checking that out. Every little bit helps and it is appreciated, so thank you very much. And with all of that said, until next time, thanks, bye.